is probably not working just yet, but I'll just keep stalling and eventually you'll see your pretty face on Facebook. Hey, they can see you now. All right, cool. All right, everybody, we're here with Emanuel Hodge, Manny Hodge, aka Black Trump, as it says down in the bottom uh, title, I should say. Manny is an incredible comedian, stand-up comedian. We've had the honor of having you perform at Charlton's numerous times now, and I've had the honor of working with you numerous times now. And now I get the honor to chat with you. So how you doing? How's everything going?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. Just relaxing, dog.
Yeah. How's comedy?
It's going good. Getting booked constantly to be, Black Trump, trying to ride this out until January 20th, I guess. I got till that long, so
So what do you do January 21? Are you still Black Trump? Or do you
I'm gonna have
change
to
it up?
figure it out. I guess I'll be
Yeah.
Black Biden or be myself. So
Okay. So still keeping with the cool suits and all the
yeah,
shebang. So you've been doing you do a lot of different impersonations. You actually do a lot of great impersonations. You do people that I think people wouldn't expect, like Howard Stern. I've heard you do a lot of different things. What's your inspiration? Who inspired you to? I guess who inspired you to get into comedy, and what inspires you to do impersonations? I find doing impersonations hard, even as an actor. Like I've taken classes and I've been on crap on TV, and I still can't pull off impersonations or accents and shit like that. So what do you do? How do you do it? Why are you into it, and how do you do it?
I mean, I guess growing up watching In Living Color, Mad TV, all those '90s sitcoms, I just imitated what I saw on TV because I was bored. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what I was doing as a kid. I didn't know that was like acting monologues or acting skits out, seeing it. I didn't know. So I would do it at work, at my jobs, or at school and get kicked out of class for doing it. But
Really? You in trouble? You were the class clown kind of thing?
yeah, it's pretty typical. Like most class clowns end up being comedians a
It
lot of
seems
the
like
time.
it. Yeah, it seems like you got to get it from somewhere. I guess getting it. I mean, it's easier to learn a musical instrument as a younger person. So it's probably easier to learn a sense of humor as a younger person too, like anything, and you grow with it and all that kind of stuff. That's a shame that you got in trouble. I was a class clown too, and I used to get in trouble for stupid stuff too, which I always thought was kind of like, but I understand. I've been there. So that's pretty cool that you say in living color. So in Living Color blows my mind because if you think about it, like Jamie Foxx, for instance, right? Like that guy's super talented musician, actor, all that kind of stuff, and he won an Oscar for playing Ray Charles, which is like something he just perfected as like a comedy thing. And now he's going to play Mike Tyson, and he does the voice and all that kind of stuff. And I'll bet you he gets nominated for an Oscar or something because he's put on a lot of weight. I mean, he looks like the part. It's crazy that you can like. I mean, what do you think? Maybe you're going to be getting an Oscar to play Donald Trump in like 20 years from now
You're
because you're going
fired,
to be the
Captain.
guy,
Hey,
right?
I will not concede.
Why not? I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah,
think. You never know. No.
yeah.
Do you have a Do you have a favorite impersonation?
Uh, the Leprechaun. I like doing the Leprechaun because I think most people like in the '90s have seen that movie. The
Yeah,
Leprechaun was funny. He would rhyme. No, please give me the coin. Please,
that's good.
no. So I like doing it because it's funny. The Leprechaun is not really scary. He's more so funny than anything. So like
I hope that's what you win your Oscar for
Leprechaun.
like
Yeah,
Leprechaun. Bring him
please.
back. They do a remake of Leprechaun in space, and you just win an Oscar. But like, all right, well, there you go, Manny Hodge, Oscar winner.
Yeah,
That started Jennifer. What's her face? Jennifer Aniston's career. That was like one of her first movies. Was Leprechaun, the original, the first Leprechaun. That might have been the '80s. I don't know. There was a slew in the 1980s. They had a bunch of. They would put anything. Gerbils could be a horror movie. Anything. There's a Frogs horror movie. There's a horror movie about rabbits, like just rabbits. Like there's a horror Piranha. They got a horror movie about everything in the '80s. That was the prime time to be in horror movies. I think.
I think when you I grew up the only child, so I would be on punishment a lot. So I would be in the house watching TV all the time. It was kind of
Mm-hmm.
like the cable guy, like that. When you watching, all you seeing is like sitcoms, so you act out what you're seeing. And when I'm at work, I'm acting out like movie scenes from movies and stuff like that. So
That's crazy. I'm an only child too, and I always thought about acting, as a kid and things like that.
See,
So I kind of like got into. It's kind of. I guess it's kind of the same thing. So, did you ever do voices of like cartoons and stuff like that growing up?
Eric Cartman, ski yourself, bitch, I kill you.
That's good. That's dead on the money. I like that. That's all right.
Yeah. So I just try to have
So
fun, man.
you do. You do. It comes across every time I see you do stand-up comedy. It comes across as fun. How long you been doing it?
Since 2017. I started off getting like doing events and showcases to like get my feet wet.
Uh-huh.
And
What do you
then
mean events?
like let's say somebody's doing a wedding or a party or a Christmas party, stuff like that. I would do that first where I knew it wasn't a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
That way, let's say it's 20 people there or 50 people there. Like you're easing your way into like learning how to be in front of people, basically.
It's true. It is. It's interesting. It's like easier to perform in front of a large crowd of people than just a few people, I think.
It is. It
You
is.
know, if you just get like two or three, like I've done some wrestling shows with like two people in the audience, and their boos hurt so much more than the boos of like 100 people. And even if you're like, I always played like a bad guy, so you get booed and stuff like that. But it's like you hear that echo and that silence at the
Mm-hmm.
same time that you're hearing like somebody, react. It's really, yeah, it's terrifying. I know what you're talking about on there. So,
Like
do you?
if it's 10 people there, you can see their face and their facial expressions if something isn't working. But if it is, then it's great. But it kind of teaches you to be able to talk to your audience. It teaches you how to relate to them more because they're right there. They can see you as opposed to 100 people. You can't see everybody, so you're not really tripping as much. But I
Mhm.
think in the beginning process, you need to start off like working your way through, like start doing events, weddings, getting used to being on stage. So that
Mhm.
way, now when you do, I did a show at a 420 event 2 years ago. It was like 500 people there, and
Wow.
that was like no big deal because I think for a whole year I'm used to doing it for 10 people and 20 people. So
Yeah. I think that's a lot of any sort of entertainment is just repetition. You have to like get over yourself being nervous with anything before you can, and then once you get with that, you can play with it. And then it's like a whole step. It's a whole process of like, you have to get over your own nerves no matter what kind of entertainment you do. And then once you get past that, then you can grow, and like become something, I think.
yeah,
Had
you
you
have
ever
to.
done a sketch comedy or anything like that? Or like stage plays or,
Yeah, in school I did plays where I played characters,
yeah.
and from elementary through high school, I played like a gremlin my sophomore year. Got an A. I was in drama class. I was in the Sylvan Learning Center commercial when I was like 13.
Wow. That's pretty
But
cool.
I didn't take it serious because I just did it because my parents were like, since you acting out, maybe you need to do acting classes or something. They just were trying to see what's gonna work and keep me calm instead of
Hmm.
acting a fool all day. But once I moved here in 2014, I started being an extra for TV shows, and then I did independent movies where I played comedy roles before I even did stand up. So I did a sketch comedy, a Jerry Seinfeld impression, and put it on my Instagram. And a guy
Hmm.
hired me to do stand up at a Christmas party. So that's pretty much the key for me. That's 2017, and from there, once I learned, hey, I can get paid for being myself.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to do this.
That's pretty cool that you got picked from an Instagram video. You don't hear that story every day. That's pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah,
So do you do that a lot? Is that where you do? Because right now you're primarily doing a lot of like you doing what all you doing online? You're doing a bunch of shows online, right?
yeah, yeah, man, yeah. I have to literally put stuff on my calendar, but I do a lot of Zoom shows. Of course, your shows are. I like
Yeah.
doing your shows the most, of course. But
Thank you.
Zoom shows, I do Instagram shows. They have virtual open mics now, so I've been doing that since March. Um,
So how does that work? How does that work for a performer and for an audience? A virtual open mic.
Well, okay, so the Instagram ones is like when you go live, like right now. Basically, the
Hmm.
audience will be the people in the comments. and the
Okay.
host would be pretty much you relying on them to laugh. So you're pretty much, to me, a lot of people don't like it because they're used to like the audience laughing. But for me, I came from doing sketch comedy and plays, so it wasn't really a big deal. It was like now I can say anything I want because
Yeah.
who's gonna say anything? You know, now the Trump thing is what really during the pandemic blossomed my career because now the more that Trump was in the news, the more they booked me to be this guy. So now you're
No
forced to
kidding.
watch me every day, whether you like it or not, because I'm going live every day.
Really interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
do you think, is that why you want to stay with like Biden, like the political thing? Because that opens more doors, maybe?
No, it's actually, when I would do my shows, I would be me for like, you get 5 minutes to the club. So I would be
Uh-huh.
me for 4 minutes, regular jokes. And then I would end my show with putting on the wig. So I would wear a hoodie like this, where I got a pocket. The wig would be in the hoodie pocket. And I would
Okay.
put the wig on. The response from the audience, they wouldn't expect me to do it because you just tell
Right.
jokes as yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I actually became this and went on stage like this? And
Yeah.
that's when they're like, oh, what the heck? Because I'm like the
That's
only
crazy.
black comic that dresses up like that and do stand up as Trump.
Yeah, I gotta say, also, I admire that you're sticking with that, and also like, being in the South and everything, I could see where you could run into some issues with that. I admire that you're like, we've seen some stuff, we've heard some stuff. I won't get into it here, but
Yeah,
you didn't succumb to fears and all that kind of stuff. So it's good that it takes a lot of courage to do stand-up comedy, especially something that can be, considered controversial. I hope that anybody that would think that what you do is controversial, please go to at least my YouTube page, Jackass of All Trades. You can see what Manny does. There's nothing that you say that is controversial. It's all in good humor and it's all in good fun. So I would hope anybody that would think that maybe you're making a crack about a particular thing, give you a listen before they make a decision about what you do, because what you do is just fun. It's just a fun thing. I think you're really good about that. There's nothing you've done that I would think would upset anybody. I've seen some comedians say some things that upset people, but what you do isn't like that at all. I think if anything, you're very self-conscious about not upsetting people. You're the complete opposite of that.
right. Because when you look at it, it's his own character. It's like if Trump was black, how would he
Hmm.
act? And that's basically what the character is. I'm not signing bills and talking about nothing serious. It's more so like So Jason, you will like ask me the questions and I'll respond. It might be like a reboot about 90210. Like that's something
Yeah.
Trump doesn't talk about, but
Yeah.
it's just more funny because I'm saying it in his voice.
Yeah, you set it up to where it's very interactive. It's very like a press conference and like a lot of different things. Like I've seen stand-up comedians and I've seen stand-up comedians talk about politics, but I've never seen stand-up comedians do what you do, where you incorporate like a whole. I feel like you're like combining stand-up comedy and sketch comedy kind of a little bit, which is pretty. I find it very interesting. I think it's very cool, and I hope that you keep doing it because I can imagine it growing. I mean, you're doing your own thing. You're doing something that's like pretty different, and I think that can stand out. You just got to believe in you. So you
Yeah,
do a good job with that. Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. And I wanted to create my own lane. I always tell every comic, there was something a comedian told me 3 years ago. He said, there's comedians and then there's entertainers. The comedian just tells jokes. Entertainer, when people walk away, they remember who you were. You know that, Jason, from performing. There's a million people doing this, but do they remember what you did when they go home when they're at the house? And I
Yeah.
want people to remember, like, yo, this dude had a blonde wig on. He passed out lottery tickets. Like,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
make
That's
sure
something
that
else you do. You pass out lottery tickets to audience. I've seen you do that. Like I've never seen anybody do that. It's such a good idea. I wish I'd have done that as a wrestling manager bad guy, because that would be great heat. Like here you go, you poor. Just go. I would have totally, I'd have hammed that thing up. I'd have got people throwing trash at me and stuff like that. But the way you do it is really classy. It's funny. Like I don't know. Everything you do is funny. It's really, I don't know. It's a cool. Is there impersonations that you are trying to work on that you want to start working on, or something you haven't?
yeah. At work, I was working on remember Home Improvement,
Hmm.
Tim Allen, where he
Tim
was
Allen. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm trying to like get better at like I want to incorporate a Tim Allen joke. So I'm like, yeah, remember Home Improvement where he went you know. So I'm trying to get better at doing that, and I've been watching a lot of Sammy Davis Jr. where he
Okay.
dances, tell jokes. That's what I'm trying to be, the new age. So I'm about to incorporate dancing into my shows now, where I might do an MC Hammer dance at the show, you know, or at Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. That's cool things to touch on. That's you are an entertainer in all senses. Is there a form of entertainment that you want to try that you haven't tried yet?
Not really. I've done plays. I've done independent movies. I did a reality show.
What was the reality show?
Yeah, I did one in 2016. It was called Lost and Found. I'm gonna send you the clip. Um,
Okay.
the first year I got here, we shot in August, and it came out on Christmas Day. Um,
Wow. What's it about?
Basically, my aunt made my mom a scarf before she died from cancer, and I lost it, and they had these people go find it. So that's what the episode is about. And
And they actually found it?
yeah, they found it, and so I returned it to my mom. They had all her coworkers in one room, and
Uh-huh.
I returned it, and I had to express how I felt about my mom in front of like the world and her coworkers, which was like super awkward in the mug.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like they had to shoot it 3 times. You know, reality TV. You know, they had to
Yeah.
shoot it 3 times, and it was like so. Imagine you express how you feel about your parent. All right, that was good. Let's shoot it over. So now everybody has to sit there and hear you say the same thing again. So it's not the same shock value as it was first time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, now I get how reality TV works now.
And it was like that? They just make you shoot the same. That's kind of
Because they
wow.
shoot different angles. You might have said it like more heartfelt than the first time, and it's basically you're acting because you're even though
Wow.
they tell you what to say on the side, you're
Uh-huh.
still acting. They're telling you like, hey, I need you to talk more about your aunt who died because they know people at home will feel sorry for you. You know, I learned a lot from doing that. Like, it's about
Wow.
tugging on the emotions of the people so they can watch the show. It has to be entertaining.
So they didn't have like a script per se you followed. They just kind of told you to talk about like this or that a little bit more. That's interesting. I've tried a lot of different forms of acting, but I've never done reality television. It's not, I've done it where you were forced to have a script and you better stay on that script because those are words people that got paid to type, so you better, but you're playing a bad guy or something like that. It's not like anything. But that would be, yeah, I could see that being like really hard. I couldn't tell. I wouldn't be able to talk about my father and emphysema 3 times in a row or something like that. That wouldn't be.
Right,
That
and
would be.
see,
Yeah, that would be too hard.
exactly. But see,
Yeah.
you signed the contract, and I knew what it was, so I was like, I'm down with doing reality TV. I'm not gonna be throwing drinks at people and all that stuff. So if I
Yeah.
do something, it's gonna be positive to help somebody else. I'm actually doing another one. I told you about it. The
Yeah.
reality show called Behind the Dream.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna probably have you on one of the episodes.
Okay.
But
When are you gonna start that up?
they start filming January 19th. They pushed back the
Oh,
date because of COVID, but it's about
natural.
6 people. We all do different things, and we're like chasing our dreams. So we show you the ups and downs of us like stressed out from work, getting prepared for a show, all the stuff that me and you know as a performer, the world will get a chance to see.
That's cool. That's really an interesting, aspect of it. Especially now you got time to where you can watch all the behind the scenes footage. You got time for, we all got time for that stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah,
So
man. So
where,
yeah,
where's the best place to find your work? Where can people find what you do?
Facebook, Emanuel Hodge, or
Hmm.
you can find me. This name on here is my Instagram, Manny Hodge, aka Black Trump. You can find a lot of comedy skits, or on your YouTube, you can find a lot of my stand up on there. I love performing at the Charlton. That's like my home. I always go extra crazy and add more stuff to my set.
Yeah, you do. It's always great. So the Halloween show was amazing. That was pretty cool. We had an incredible group of people, audience checking it out, and you really had to direct the audience. You had to like bring everything down, like they were. And you did a great job bringing it all together. Not a lot of performers would have had that kind of swing. So yeah, it's a real honor to have you perform at Charlton's and to work with you, anywhere. We've worked together numerous times, and it's always great. So, 2021, we hope to have you come back at Charlton's more, of course. So, is there any shows coming up you want to talk about? Let everybody know that you're maybe doing something online or something where we can watch you.
Uh, yeah, I'm doing a couple Zoom shows. I'll have them on my Facebook. I'm doing one on the 26th. It's a competition on
Okay.
Instagram. You can win $100.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have that on there. And New Year's Eve, I'm doing a Zoom show on New Year's, and I'm also performing that same night downtown. But they're gonna have the audience at home because of
Yeah.
COVID. So I'm gonna be doing probably a lot of shows, a lot of Zoom shows, getting this last run in as Black Trump, and also I'm shooting a music video for my second single called Cash Out with Black Biden, Black Trump, Camilla Harris, Obama. Uh, yes, I'm
Awesome.
playing like four characters in that video. So
You're gonna play them all?
everybody except Obama. Of course, Derek
Okay.
Nicholson.
It's Derek. Yeah.
He's gonna do Obama.
Yeah. Derek Nicholson is another comedian in Atlanta that hosts a lot of. I mean, he does a lot of stuff, but he doesn't. He does a great Obama. You guys, yeah, it's dead on. And those tracks are really good, so that's cool. You're doing. Do you any idea when that's going to be coming out? When we check it out?
I go to the studio December 28th, and then I'm getting with the director. I want to put it out the next day of the inauguration. So
Okay.
it's gonna be because the first video we shot that in 6 hours. So
Ah,
um,
it's pretty cool.
yeah, I plan to shoot it like the first week of January, and then that way we can get it out the next day of the inauguration. So
Yeah.
Biden will be fresh on everybody's minds. So,
Right. Yeah.
it's gonna be cool because you got Black Trump rapping, Black Biden, Camilla Harris has the second verse, and then Obama. We have two videos at once, so Derek will have his own separate video
Ah.
inside the video. So it's gonna be entertaining.
Where can we see the first video at? Where's the best place to see that?
On YouTube right now, type in Manny Hodge twerk. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
the song got 13,000 views in like 1 month. So
And that's crazy. Wow, 13,000 views in 1 month. Wow.
just
Wow.
the song itself without the video. So it was like,
Oh, wow. Where can people hear the song? Is it on like Spotify and stuff like that?
yeah,
Or
they can hear it on Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes.
what do they type in? They type in Manny Hodge?
Yeah, they
Okay.
told me I couldn't use the name. I'm gonna tell you a crazy story. It took me 3 weeks to get that song approved because they said I couldn't
Wow.
use the word Trump because they said I was like bashing him and all of that. So I had to change the name to Manny Hodge Twerk. And same with the music video. Google, I talked to them on the phone, and they were like,
Really?
"We're not gonna." Yes, I emailed them.
So you went by Black Trump. And because you went by Black Trump, they were like, no go? Because of the word Trump.
And the stuff in
Wow.
the music video, I have fake protesters. Derek says I don't like Trump, but I like Black Trump. That right there, they were like, we can't run the
Someone was on the
campaign.
phone with you and explained to you that him saying that was a no go.
Yeah, because with Google, what they do before they
Wow.
approve your video, they watch it, and then they were playing it in the background because I can hear it, and they were like, "Yeah, the fake protesters is a problem." Derek saying I don't like Donald Trump. This was like around election time. So of course, anything that was like, Trump signed a bill, a
Yeah.
video dissing him. So it was like, dang, I got caught in the crossfire with it. They wouldn't approve my video. They let me have it on YouTube. I just can't run ads.
Really? That's crazy. Wow. I can't believe all these different rules that they can go by. I have no idea. I had no idea you had to deal with all that kind of, I've had to deal with, uploading stuff on iTunes. It takes a while, but I've never had to deal with anything like that. But, I don't really do anything political, so I can, but I mean, again, if they just listen to what I don't get it. That's crazy. Wow, that is a crazy story. Wow.
Yeah, the video. You got fake protesters. Black Trump must go. They're like, oh, we know what you're saying. Even though you're playing a character, you're still saying Trump must go. So
Wow.
that was the issue. Had I done the song just without being the character, yeah, it would probably been no problem. But I kind of knew that of playing this character that there are going to be some issues with me doing it. But
Mhm.
it's like I'm gonna keep going. Now I'm gonna do Biden, and hopefully they won't have an issue with that video either.
Yeah, I hope not. That would be a shame. I mean, it seems like you still should have your, First Amendment rights or whatever. I mean, if you were saying something terrible, maybe, but just saying you dislike somebody. But I don't know. I don't make the rules on that. It's weird that it's like that. Right?
Yeah, man, you'd be surprised. I've been blessed that all the shows I've done that everybody's pretty much cool. They understand it's comedy. They may
Yeah.
say something afterwards, but I haven't personally had to deal with it.
Uh-huh.
Trump supporters have asked me for pictures, and at some of your shows.
Yeah, I would say at Charlton's, you've had a lot of, people like, if they give you a listen, if they don't, if all they hear is Black Trump, they might get offended. But if they see what you do, I think that they'll see that you're not, harming anybody. You're not saying anything. You really don't even get political. The questions you have me asking are about Friends TV show and Seinfeld and Kanye West and like, stuff that's not, yeah, it's all just fun stuff. So I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you being a part of Charlton's, and I'm excited that you are doing shows and you got some gigs online, and hopefully we get past all this COVID stuff. All be doing way more gigs. That'd be great. So,
Yeah.
before we wrap it up, where again is the best place you would say people can find your work, Manny?
Uh, Instagram, Manny
Okay,
Hodge. Follow me. You can watch the videos. I have a TikTok called You Will Laugh.
you will laugh. Okay,
Yeah, you can. I've been posting a lot of videos on there. Of course, YouTube, Manny Hodge. Actually, no, it's Dantes Trump on YouTube.
okay,
Dantes Trump YouTube. I have a bunch of stand-up videos of Donald Trump telling jokes. Um, yeah, so I mean, I guess the name would throw people off, but when you see, like you said, when you see the show, you'll be like, "Oh man, this is way different." He's doing songs, impressions.
yeah,
I'm doing an impression while I'm doing an impression, like you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's true. It's like it's a bunch of different things going on at once. It's cool. It's very interactive. It's cool. It's really, I don't know. I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you being a part of Charlton's, and I don't know, I appreciate
No problem.
your friendship.
What's
So,
crazy is that when I started comedy, I never really wrote jokes down. I would write the topic down,
hmm
like I do with you with the questions, and I would just pretty much improv the rest of it because it's like I pretty much know what I'm gonna say. So it's like certain things you already know. You know what I mean? So it's like I never actually wrote jokes down. All my shows have been improv, and I've been blessed to be able to do that. My friends get on me about that, like, "Hey, what if you forget or you need to write it?" It may Writing works for certain people, but for me,
yeah, I was just
improv.
watching a thing, the Comedy Store, like Jay Leno. He just went up there and just did his thing. He didn't really write a lot of stuff. He didn't really. It's kind of crazy hearing him talk about that. And look at him. He ended up becoming to the Tonight Show. Everybody knows Jay Leno. So
Right.
yeah, he did more for Doritos than anybody. So yeah, I think I don't know. Man, if you can do it, you can do it. It's not. There's no. When it comes to entertainment, there's no correct way to do anything. I think you just do the things that you're, comfortable with, and you'll get better at it because you're comfortable doing it.
Right. And too,
Uh,
I get a chance to like, as Black Trump, I kind of do be my. I can kind of say whatever I want in a way because I know it's Trump in a way because we know the type of person he is. So I can kind of test the limits as Black Trump sometimes that I know I wouldn't be able to do as myself.
hmm.
So I know when I go too far, when the audience they don't laugh, and you like, hey, wait a minute, this is too far. So
Yeah.
sometimes I push my boundaries and see, but because most people feel like, oh, you're doing Black Trump, they're gonna laugh no matter what. No, like I still have to be funny as this guy, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't like some of the stuff I'm saying because it might be a little too racist or outlandish. So it's like,
Right.
hey, you know, so I have to kind of
Yeah, I mean, it's
adapt.
tough. You got to earn the audience's trust, which you do a good job, But I mean, yeah, you still got to earn that, especially when you're playing a character. It was like that when I played wrestling characters. I always played a bad guy named Kurt Kilgore, and I was always a bad guy. And it's like you still got to earn their trust that they're going to trust that you're a bad guy worth watching. You can't
Right.
just be a bad guy. You got to be like a good bad guy, that's entertaining. So it's kind of yeah, it's cool to kind of see what you're yeah. But you do a good job of balancing the whole thing out. I think it's really I don't know, it's great. I'm excited to see what you do with Biden and whatever you do. You should do your Howard Stern. You got a Howard Stern that's really good. You do Seinfeld. You do a lot of different impersonations. So you should just
Yeah,
you're really talented at it. I think it's
we do
cool.
that in the show for the people that haven't seen me perform. I'll write
Hmm.
up some of the questions for Jason, and I'll do that on purpose. I'm sure you know that Jason, where it'll be like the Obama joke, where asking to see his birth certificate. So it's an excuse for me to do like multiple impressions on purpose.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
want people to see it.
You do it. Yeah, you do a good job of like layering. It's like I don't know. It's cool. I almost feel like when you're performing, I feel like I'm a part of the. I'm like acting too, kind of, which is pretty cool. It's neat for me. It's like I can see it's kind of tough. Our crowds aren't as big as it would be awesome if we didn't have COVID because everybody would be into what you're doing because it's so interactive. But there's not a big crowd. We got to be careful so it's not. But hopefully you'll be able to. I think you're on the right path of doing something interesting. It's just a matter of when we can all get together and appreciate it more. I would say. So,
Well,
but
I
the
think
time's coming.
the opportunity. I told my friends I was like, I respect Jason because he gave me an opportunity to perform at places that I haven't been to because I started off only at the Atlanta Comedy Theater every Wednesday. So that's like
Mm,
let's say a black circuit where it's like okay, there's black people and I'm telling black jokes. At your shows, there's black and white, Hispanic. So now I can be more creative and silly and goofy at your shows, I will say. Like I get to be myself, how I am on a regular basis.
yeah,
And I learned something too that your audience, you have to appreciate them. Like you're not famous yet. So them driving wherever they are to come see you, they want to feel like, what am I getting sitting watching this guy? So you giving them a card or giving them a scratch off or talking to them, you went around having people ask the questions. They feel like they're a part of the show and that they're getting something out of. I just bought a drink and drove 30 minutes to see this guy, hoping he's funny. Like
yeah.
now they're getting something in return to where it's like you had a good time. Like
I've actually heard customers say that exact thing that you're talking about when you gave them the scratch off ticket. Like I've heard people like weeks later talking about how cool that was that you were like that stood out. Like it stood out to me too, but it stood out to them too. You're right. That's like really cool that. It's good that you think. I don't know. I would have never thought to do that. It's a great idea. That's a
yeah,
cool.
man. My manager from my old job, my first job when I moved here, he came to one of my shows and he
Hmm.
drove from Macon, Georgia to Little Burn. That's like hours away to come see me because he
Hmm.
saw a video of mine on Facebook and I hadn't seen him in like 3 years. So I
Wow.
knew he brought his wife, and it's like he took the time to come see me when he could have went to see Kevin Hart or whoever. And I'm like, I gotta really. It actually makes the expectation higher when I have friends and family at my shows because now I have to go hard because they may have not seen you before. They drove an hour away to see you. So you got to give
Interesting.
these people a show.
Wow. That's cool. That's good that you get that mindset. That's good that you get that kind of. I think that's the right mindset to be. No matter. You know, you want people to respect what you're doing and want to watch what you're doing. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because they don't have to come. One woman told me she was either going to see Leslie Jones or see me. Leslie Jones is on Saturday Night Live. She's famous, or see you. And she's like, I
Yeah.
drove an hour to see you. So I'm like,
Wow.
man, now I got to go hard now.
That's pretty cool. Wow. What a compliment. That's pretty awesome. Wow. That's cool. Well,
Yeah,
I appreciate you spending some time talking to us. We're going to have you at Charlton's in 2021. And then, yeah, if you check out Manny Hodge on Instagram and TikTok as well, you can find a lot of his shows, a bunch of them upcoming. You got a New Year's show. Sounds like you got a few coming up for the end of the year. So You still a little bit of time left to get as much Black Trump in as you can. So that's cool that you got some
Well,
spots to
wait,
do that.
actually, Trump said he's running in 2024, so I may have
There you
an
go.
extension here.
You get time. You get time to get another wig. All right. There you go. You get some golf
Oh, that's
clubs
cool.
next time.
All right.
That'll be good. All right, Manny. Well, thank you for having giving us some time, and thank you for being a part of Charlton's, man. Every time you do your thing, it's wonderful to be a part of and to watch. So I look forward to 2021. Thank everybody for watching. This has been the Originals at Charlton's Presents and Narragansett Presents. And I think I'm saying that wrong, but it doesn't matter because we love everybody. We got cool presents, and yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody. So.